What is up, everybody? Hope you're doing well. So this is the first week for me on the countryside. As you can probably tell, I have to get used to the sun out here. I'm a bit red, so I think I'm making this video black and white just for your convenience, I guess. So I wanted to do a Grailed Wishlist video again for a couple of reasons. The first one is I haven't bought anything new because I'm still kind of finding my way on what my direction is in the future when it comes to fashion, but also obviously the moving cost a lot. I'm staying on the DL for now. But I wanted to do a Grailed Wishlist video, which I have done 2 times, right? If you haven't watched those, I'll link them right below the like button so you can check them out. So this is sort of a wish list for me that I don't necessarily want to buy right now, but I think highly appreciated pieces that I just want to have in my virtual collection, if you want to state it that way. And yeah, so brought a couple of cool pieces with me. Most of them, or actually all of them, are avant-garde, of course. Some of them I might consider pulling the trigger at some point. Some are just at this stage where I'm like, yeah, maybe at some point in the future, but it's still important for me to know like what the price will be, etc. So moving in, right, we have a large variety of different brands in there, not only CCP, but I'm starting off with CCP. I'm sorry, but those derbies are just incredibly nice. So I will go through the wishes on my iPad. So the first one is a perforated derby in color 19, which is incredible, lovely bison leather, brand new condition. I actually know the seller, right? He's a friend of mine from Munich. I'll link all the listings, by the way, down below. Go check them out. He's a very cool guy, and I know that if you buy from him, the products will be as described. So this is just a lovely pair. It took me many years to appreciate the perforated design, and now I'm eyeing this pair. I think it's especially cool for summer, right? When it's difficult to justify, when it's like 36 degrees out here, Celsius, of course. It's really hot to wear derbies or tornadoes, so the perforated holds help a bit, I guess. And the colorway, I mean, to me, I'm a sucker for the color 19. It's probably my favorite, to be honest. I mean, 10 black is always good, but it's such a deep color. Just look at the, hopefully you can see that here. Yeah, lovely pair. So that's the first pair, currently listed for 2K. Of course, with the high grailed fees, etc., this always has to be deducted. Can't complain about the seller, right? They have to make money as well. And especially for Europe, like 19, I think, % fee it is in total, which is insane. Also interesting, like we had this Grailed discussion on this channel before many times, and I'm always thinking like the next time I do a wishlist video, it will be on another platform. But honestly, Grailed is still the platform with the majority of pieces for men's. Like no matter what brand you look at, if you look at the other platforms, it's like a 10th maximum, I would say, of products listed there. So Grailed still is the #1. I wish they would go down with their fees, but yeah, we can't have it all, I guess. So item number 2 on my wish list is a Greg Lauren long bomber jacket, which has always been one of my grails. I think the vintage military tents is just such an amazing fabric. I've had a couple of pieces from him from that era. If you follow this channel, you know I'm a fan of old Greg. The quality was incredible, and I think this could be like 2017-ish maybe. And yeah, lovely piece. Ultra long, right? You have to get used to the length, but yeah, I love the distressing. I think this Greg Lauren is the master of distressing, the use of multiple fabrics. I'm not the biggest fan of like shiny, of like crisp blue jeans, rather like faded, but the olive, it's just incredible. And yeah, lovely piece, currently listed for, wow, 2,600. Seems a bit steep. I mean, I've seen those being sold for 3 digits in the past, but I guess times change. But has always been a grail for me. I'm currently looking for old Greg stuff. So if you have old Greg, by the way, hit me up either here on this channel or on my Instagram. Always happy to listen to offers, especially size 3, size 4. Those would be my sweet spot. So this is piece number 2 and definitely high up for me personally on my Grail wish list. So next up, number 3. Those are not ranked, by the way, right? It's just generic. I mentioned when I say this is on top of my list, then it is on top of my list. Another CCP piece is not going to be too CCP heavy, don't worry. But I mean, this is just a signal colorway. And I'm really getting into drip sneakers more and more again. I've had a couple of pairs in the past. I'm currently owning 1 pair, the prosthetic U-sole in bias. But I would love a classic kangaroo drip sneaker. I think like a bright orange, bright blue, bright yellow would be cool. And that dirty yellow is such a cool colorway in my opinion. And yeah, Absolutely love those. Currently listed for 1,500, which is actually not too bad, right? Considering if you deduct 20% fees, etc. I think it's actually not a bad price, but still a bit too much, right? From a seller perspective, you still have to pay the 20%, which is quite a lot. And then this pair is coming from Russia. Could be difficult with shipping, not sure. But then also, of course, I would have to pay import taxes, which would add up. Otherwise, I would probably have pulled the trigger because I think it's such a cool, like even when I hold this up, it's like a pop of neon. Definitely not a pair for everyday use, but really, really cool pair to add to the collection, in my opinion. Next piece is a John Alexander Skelton wool jacket. Looks like wool anyways, right? There's nothing noted here, but lovely, lovely piece. I've always been a big Skelton fan. I think the buttons is just such a cool detail, and you can immediately tell it's Skelton. Love the silhouette, love the fabric. Nothing too much to add. Always love a white lining as well when you have a black exterior. And yeah, I mean, just the play with fabrics is just crazy, crazy beautiful. Incredible piece, in my opinion. Currently listed for $1,650, right? All prices US dollars, of course. Could be a fair price, not sure. I'm hoping for a couple of drops until I get my negotiation head on. But yeah, definitely a cool piece. Always love Skelton. I've had three pieces from Skelton, which I unfortunately had to sell because they were a tad too small. I thought since everything is a bit boxy and wide fitted, that a size medium would fit me, but I still need a size large. So next up we have a leather down vest from Sellam Experience. Beautiful piece, in my opinion. I've always liked down vests. I've had a really cool Rick Owens down vest that I sold. Currently I don't own any down vests, I think. So this one would be really cool to add to the collection, especially with the transparent leather, which is a really cool touch. I wonder how it wears and how actually transparent it is. Cool touch, real zippers, so you know it's good quality. Overall, I think Isaac always has a really good quality, so no complaints there. And yeah, beautiful piece. Of course, this is not the right time to buy a down vest, in my opinion. Now we have late March, so the sun is coming up, as you can tell. So not the right time, but yeah, beautiful piece nevertheless. Currently listed for $650, which is fair. I mean, Isaac is pretty expensive when you buy it retail, so not too bad in my opinion. Next piece is a waistcoat from one of my favorite designers of all time. Different aesthetic, but my heart has always been with Elena Dawson. Beautiful waistcoat in a lovely gray color, and I think this piece is super interesting because when you wear it, let's say you put a blazer on top, like a regular blazer, it looks super normal is the word. But then you have, if you look at the back, right, first of all, you have a different color, beautiful off-white lining color, which is her signature for interiors. And then you have those cool two straps in the back where you can decide, do you want to dangle them, do you want to put them together, etc. So gives you great versatility and also some way of putting your own creativity to that piece. And then of course the signature written down marks with sizing and material, etc. with like a Sharpie, which is so cool, I think. So yeah, beautiful piece, currently listed for $393, which is a pretty good deal. Actually, maybe I should grab that. I think it's a size medium, and honestly, I'm a true size large, so true 52, maybe even a large-ish. But size medium for Elena Dawson has always fit me because, I don't know, the sizes are kind of off with her. So I've always had good experience with size medium. I think it looks just a tad too plain for me from the front. If it was more, it had more distressed hems at the bottom and the front, I would probably immediately pull the trigger. Now I'm like on the fence about it. Now that I'm seeing the price, this could actually be a good deal. Alrighty, next item. I mentioned CCP Drip Sneakers in cool colorways. Yellow is definitely up my list. Probably, yeah, orange is also pretty cool. But there is a really cool pair listed in blue, which is lovely, I think. Size 10. I'm usually a size 9, but I could make it work, I guess. And I've never been a big blue guy, to be honest. But somehow this color like really triggers me with the depth of the different shades of blue. And this is one of the early pairs where you can really tell a human being like made everything and you see the errors and stuff. I don't know, this pair really gets me. The only problem with that one is the seller calls it a heel drag, and it's actually quite the hole. And that's pretty difficult to repair, and I I don't know anybody I would trust repairing there, to be honest. I'm usually pretty careful with my stuff, and even if I'm not, the stuff is pretty in good condition, and it would stay that way probably, but I don't know. Not the right decision, especially for he's listing this pair for $12.75. I don't know, do you want to pay $1,200 for a pair of shoes with a hole in it? Yeah. But I still love the color and I wanted to share because I've never been a blue guy, but this is just lovely in my opinion. So next up is probably my favorite on the wish list. Every time I look at this, I'm like, wow, damn, I want this. And this is a very early Greg Lauren layered tuxedo studio shirt. Lots of words, but it justifies lots of words in my opinion. It's just a white shirt, and that's probably why I love it so much from far away, or when somebody who has like no interest in fashion sees you with that shirt, you think, yeah, it's a weird white shirt. But then when you go closer, you see different layers, different fabrics, they play well together, and it's just, I don't know, I've fallen in love with this piece from every angle, especially like the close-ups. You see so many different layers, different fabrics. I've always been a fan of the studio silhouette of his studio shirts. They have like elongated arms and really fit well for a studio, in my opinion. That's why my studio shirt that I wear in my studio back in Munich is a Greg Lauren studio production sample shirt or whatever. Unfortunately, the lister listed it, or the seller rather listed it for $1,400, which is, wow, that's quite a lot. But yeah, one of my favorite details is the sleeve, that you have a double layer even at the sleeve. So really lovely piece. I hope this will drop down. But he listed it 9 days ago as I'm filming this video, and he didn't even bump it, so he probably doesn't even care. Yeah, I wish this would be in my budget. It says from the very first season only 50 pieces made, so this is definitely one for the collectors, which I'm not. If I get a decent price at this, I will probably. Next up is a pretty hardcore piece, one which I really love as well. Skelton again, a long wool coat, signature button detailing, tweed. Such a lovely piece. He says 17 pieces in the world from this season, fall winter 2021. And yeah, I mean the fabrics, obviously Skelton always chooses the best fabrics. This is a picture I think from Darklands. Super long again, right? If you look at it. I remember like being out here on the countryside because my in-laws live here, right? So we have been coming here for like 10 years. And a couple of years ago, I went here, I think it was Christmas or something, and we went to a restaurant and I wore my Paul Harden long coat and everybody looked at me like he's a freaking madman. So this will definitely have some attention, I guess. But yeah, still such a lovely piece. Seller currently listed at $3,500, which is of course a lot of money, but I think for Skelton, I mean, this could be retail probably, something like that. I'm not sure, but yeah, still absolutely love this piece. Next up, a pair of shoes that I have been eyeing for, I would say 1.5 years, or maybe a year, something like that. 1.5 probably. It is the Guidi hiking boots. All right, beautiful shoe. Classic silhouette, of course, has been existing for ages, but I think the execution of Guidi is really well done in this case. Also with the eyelets, aged. In this case, a beautiful white or off-white cream reverse leather. I love all colors in this. I would also go with a color black, of course, but I actually prefer the higher ones, right? There's a, I think, low, mid, and high version. This could be the mid. There's this high version, which is ultra high. Obviously, this would take like 20 minutes probably to put them on, but still lovely shoe. Super heavy, I think. I've never like held them in hand, but they look super heavy and would surprise me if they were not, because it's all leather, of course. And then you have this chunky Vibram sole. This is a pair for a lifetime, and especially cool probably for the countryside here when you have lots of snow and shit. Beautiful piece, size 45. So I'm 44, 45-ish. Currently listed for $10.80, which is probably a decent price, I guess. But I'm not in the mood right now to buy winter shoes, but still absolutely love this pair. Next, we're browsing through. If you follow this channel, you know Deepti is one of my favorite designers. And this is a pretty cool pair of derbies. The surface is just insane. And it's a resin derby, so it's covered. It's, I think, horse leather. Doesn't say, but I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's horse leather. And then it's covered with resin that has been cracked. Size 44, fit me spot on, I guess. And yeah, the detailing and the concept behind that collection is one of my personal favorite. Currently listed for 1,500. Yeah, it's a bit too much for me, to be honest. Not saying those are not worth 1,500, but for me to spend 1,500 now. And I think also interesting is the height, right? Those appear a bit like mid-height, right? Not like low derbies. Not sure, I've never seen a Deepti pair of shoes in real life, to be honest. But yeah, this pair is definitely up on my list when it comes to Deepti shoes. Next up, an incredible jacket, but that's also, I have this picture right here on my iPad and it's in my face already because the color is so bright. So this is not a jacket that you can wear every day. Damn, that's signal red, color 13. I think especially this iteration with the rusty hardware and how it has transferred on the leather is just amazing. And this should definitely not be your only leather jacket, I think. I mean, you could still pull it off on a daily basis with confidence, but yeah, the details on this is just insane. Unfortunately, it's a size 50, which would be too small for me, but I still have to bookmark it because I love the color so much. I would be a 52 in this, but I would say if you are a size 50 and you have 4,500 bucks to spare, you should consider this. It's such an amazing piece. Next up, we have a really cool coat. It is from Taichi Murakami and it's called the Mountain Coat, which is basically made out of Dyneema. Back in the days, it was called Cuban fabric, but now it's called Dyneema, rebranding of the fabric, but it's the same fabric. And CCP makes this coat, similar material, I would say, but Deepti makes this coat in the same material. I don't know, it's always been one of my favorite materials because it's super light, super strong, waterproof, windproof, all that. And yeah, it comes up for a steal. This is actually a steal in my opinion for $688, but it is a size small, which would never fit me. But if you're a size small, I could highly recommend checking this one out. Such an incredible piece. Also for layering underneath the jacket, on top of a jacket. And if you're not using it, you can crunch it down and put it in your backpack or whatever, because the fabric is so light and can be condensed so much. So such an incredible piece. And then last but definitely not least, we have a pair of Rick Owens Tuxedo sneakers, which apparently came from the collaboration with Moncler. I've never seen those before, to be honest, but I'm not too familiar with that collab. But the combination of that sneaker with that fabric, like a technical fabric, and it looks like there's down in it, which is so cool. And those have sold, unfortunately, for $420. Good deal. I would have pulled the trigger if I had known earlier, but I still wanted to bookmark them for reference. I'm constantly looking for those because I think it's such a versatile sneaker with cool details. And yeah, definitely up my list. If you have a pair in size 43, 44, let me know. Hit me up. Would also be interesting to know, was that actually from that collab, or was that just a regular Dark Shadow release and he just stated it was Moncler? Anyway, that was my list. Pretty long list. I'm not pulling the trigger on any of those items at the moment. Maybe in the future we'll see. Maybe you'll buy some of those. Let me know down in the comments. If you consider buying one of those, what's your favorite? Would be interesting as well. Also maybe some of your favorite wishlist item on your Grailed Wishlist. But yeah, enough for this week's video. Thank you guys for watching, highly appreciate it. Leave a like, subscribe if you can, if you want. And yes, I'll see you next week. Cheers.